Well, my father had 2 boys in the military, and I needed to go help them get home. So I got Mom and Daddy to sign for me. And they cried, they didn't want to do it, but they cried and finally signed it. And he said, Joe, you going to bloody war, you don't know what you're going into. Well, he was an elder of the church, and so he gave me a priesthood blessing. He said if I'd listen to my commanders and listen to the Spirit, I'd be able to return home. When I got on that beachhead, I said, Daddy, that blessing needs to work.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your service. Let's see,
Well,
you were at D-Day?
Excuse me?
You were at D-Day?
Yeah, 6th of June, 44.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Terrible, terrible. We looked on the beachhead out there. Now, you know the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd wave didn't get in. You know that, don't you? You know history. A little bit of the 4th got in. Just a little bit of the 4th. I was in the 5th. They called for the 5th. And so I told my platoon sergeant, I turned around and I said, Sergeant Waters, we'll never make it. He said, hell, Joe, don't you say that. I said, well, look out yonder. Just look. Well, when that LST went out there, he dropped that door. We had a Sherman tank in front. One had a bulldozer blade on it, and the one behind it had a sheep foot roller with spikes about that long. And we dumped that off, and that first tank got out there, and he plowed those landmines out. Them landmines were as big as a washpot. He just plowed them landmines out. And then when he got far enough to get out, and he thought he was clear, then the second tank come off there with them sheep foot rollers, them spikes about that long. So if he missed any, he got them. He missed 2 of them, so that back tank got them. But that thing weighed 13,000 pounds, that roller, so we just said, you know, the Germans didn't want us on that beachhead. You aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
They knew if we got some tanks on that, we were in trouble. They were in trouble. Yeah.
Tell me some of the stories, and y'all remind me of some of the stories you were telling out in the truck before we came in about General Patton.
Well, General Patton, now I'm going to tell you something. The world needs to know. I know this. I don't believe it. I know this. George Patton saved the world. There ain't no doubt in my mind, none whatsoever. If you'd have been with him, you'd have got the same feeling. He was a good general. You know what? Hitler said, well, I'm going to, you know, if Hitler got Russia and England, you'd be speaking German today. You know that? He had all the other countries, the manpower and wealth in Europe except Russia and England. He started to Russia, and the cold weather in our B-17 stopped him. Are you aware that our B-17s knocked a lot of them German tanks off the road going to Russia? You may not know that. Mm-hmm. Well, in England, you know, England, they put up a terrible fight during the Blitz. You know about the Blitz?
Yes, sir.
They knocked a lot of German planes down. Bless their hearts. They fought for all they could do, and they were good. I admire them for it.
You had a particular story about you were manning a roadblock. Do you remember manning a roadblock? And
oh yeah, well, we was advancing, and Sergeant Water and my platoon sergeant said, "Joe, get out there and put this yellow thing across the road. Don't you let nobody down." I said, "Okay." So I put that old yellow horse across the road. I heard this little old Jeep coming, yink, 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 and I seen General Patton put his silver helmet around that windshield. I said, "Lord, that's the old man." Seen him before it started. I said, so I saluted him. Come up there and I said, "Driver, you can't go down this road." General Patton said, "The hell you say?" I said, "Sir, you can't go down this road. This road's mine." He said, "I'm going to give you an order to give me an order to go down the road, and they can't bother you. If they bother you, you let me know." I pulled a horse back. I said, "Go ahead, General." So down the road he went. Well, I was watching a P-51 knock some of those Messerschmitts out. They had a dog fight, and that P-51 won. But I forgot about Patton being down there. Here he come back. He come back in an old Dodge water truck. And he told the driver, said, "Pull on to there, soldier." "Come here, soldier." I saluted him. He said, "Well, I played hell." He said, "I run over mine and knocked the axle out from under my Jeep, but I'm all right. But I could use 1,000 of you young fellow. Drive on, driver."
Did you have any other interactions with him, or?
I knew General Patton personal. After the war was over, I drove for one of his aides, Colonel Smith. He was an aide to General Patton. I went down to headquarters every morning, drank milk and donuts. I didn't drink no coffee, so I drank milk, hot chocolate, and milk and donuts. Yeah, I knew him personally. I had to shoulder rub with him a lot of times. Now, Patton was really fun if you really knew him. A lot of people didn't know him. He had a sense of humor. Let me tell you a story about Patton. Now, this really happened. In Nuremberg, Germany, the bombers had done level that town. There was nothing left. There's a Catholic cathedral there. And they'd done knocked all the steeples off and everything. And the walls was, part of them was knocked down. And the podium was still where it was up in where the cathedral was. Mm-hmm. George Patton walked up there and stood on that podium. He didn't say Father in heaven. He looked up there. He said, "Sir, my name is George Patton. Would you please give me 3 days of clear weather so I can get the job done?" He got his 3 days.
All right.
There you go.
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
I can tell you something about that man. It's still funny. You can't believe.
Well, keep going.
Yeah. Well, I was there the morning that man got in that wreck. A lot of people don't know. Let me set the history straight. I was driving for a full colonel, a lieutenant colonel, eagle colonel, and he was the aide to General Patton. We was going down the road, and Patton was in a 1941 Plymouth car, a staff car, and we had to get water down at the water station. You couldn't drink water except from the Corps of Engineer water station. They'd poison you. So the guys went down there to get water, and the guy didn't tighten the valves on top of the water tank. Had 3 tanks, and he didn't tighten them down real good. When he come out on the road, he sloshed that water all over the road, and it was freezing below zero. And when Patton, the driver, come over that road, he seen that black ice. He put on brakes, and he went around and around, went right up under the back of that truck. A lot of people don't know that. I was there and witnessed that. When we got there, it hit Patton right in the back, right there, right in the neck, right in the back neck. Now, he lived about 3 weeks, you know that, don't you? We got him out and got in an ambulance. Bless his heart. He said, "I wanted to die with a damn bullet." Looked like I got in a car accident. I'm telling you like it was, bro.
Tell them where you marched through, Papa Joe. How far did you go?
What was that?
When you landed, how far you went with Patton?
Oh, when you landed, how far did you go with General Patton?
I went all the way from Normandy all the way to Berlin with him, and I lived to tell about it. You're looking at a milk. You're looking at a miracle, brother. You're looking at a miracle. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not what I believe, but what I know. If the world will check history, George Patton saved the world. If Germany would have got Russia and England, you'd be speaking German today. Do you know that? That's how close it come. But George Patton said, "Uh-oh, Hitler, you got to come through me first." That's the reason I got his cap, wear his cap a lot.
Well, you got it on now.
Huh?
That's the one you're wearing now.
Yeah, well, all right, I didn't know what you had that. That's something.
Yeah.
He was a good commander. Oh, he was a good commander.
All right.
But you know, you never did know when he was going to be right standing behind you. He'd come up on the front, and someone would say, "George, you stay out of that stupid battlefield down there. They're going to kill you." He said, "I dare them Germans to shoot me."
What did he call him? What did he call him?
Krauts. I dare the Krauts to shoot me. That's what he called them.
Daddy, tell them about Dachau.
Yeah.
Now, this is some history you need to record.
You good now?
One evening about 5 o'clock, General Patton come down there and said, "Everybody from here this way, I want you to go to motor pool and fill up your vehicles, get all the ammunition you need, get K rations for about 2 weeks. Where we're going, I can't tell you." Well, all righty. So we went and done what he said. He said, "Get you 2 extra jerry cans and put on the back of the vehicle for fuel. 10 gallons, that'll give you 10 gallons extra fuel." And so we got ready. The CIA got come in down there. You know what the CIA is, you aware of that. So they come in down there, and he's driving a Jeep, and so he said, "Y'all follow me." Now this is the night time now. We went 40 miles behind the enemy lines. 40 miles behind the enemy lines at night. Now, brother, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? And we got to Dachau that morning. The sun was breaking, and the CIA guy rolled a map out on the hood of the Jeep. He said, "This is Dachau. There's a guard here, a guard here, and a guard here, and a guard here." He said, "Now, if they surrender, I don't know what you're gonna do with them." Sir, let me tell you what happened. If I cry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When we got there, it's so sad. We got there was 2 rail cars, flat cars, like paperwood cars, and he had them about as stacked 8 foot on each side, like cordwood, 2 of them going to the landfill. But we got there before he dumped those bodies in the landfill. If you ever smelled a human body and it decayed, it's the awfulest smell you ever heard. That is terrible when you think of that. My heavens, what in the world? How in the world could a man, Hitler, supposed to be a son of the Father in heaven, do what that man done? Why in the world could a man get his brain so twisted? Where in the world is he coming from? I'm going to tell you another story, I believe. This is only inspiration. I don't know whether you got Christian or not. I admire you, whatever. I was laying in my bed one night and I was thinking about this. I said, how in the world did George Patton and Douglas MacArthur get here? Jehovah's the Old Testament, Jesus Christ is the New Testament. Well, the Father in heaven called Jehovah to him, said, "Jehovah, I want to show you what Hitler's going to do to the Jews. You was born in that family. I want to show you what Hitler's going to do. He's going to annihilate the Jewish people." He said, "Who are you going to send down there?" He said, "I got 2 good spirits. I got Douglas MacArthur and George Patton." Douglas MacArthur served he served in the West. We served in Europe. You're aware of that. Douglas MacArthur was a good general. The world don't know that, but that's what happened. Said send them, but they gonna need them down there.
Yeah.
He didn't
Got any more
Very
questions?
good.
He didn't tell you he blew up something. Incinerator. That's what we were trying to get him to
Oh,
tell.
he blew up so many incinerators.
Oh yeah. At Dachau?
Yeah.
When you were at Dachau, what else did you do there? Demolition?
We got there, before we went up there, the Colonel told me, Colonel Smith said, "Joe, go down to the ordnance depot and get 3 pounds of TNT and get to the primer cap to go with that cord you push down and ignite it." I went down there, an old big sergeant sitting down there, had 3 up and 3 down. I said, "Sergeant, Colonel Smith sent me down here to get some TNT. He wants 3 pounds. What the hell do you want with that?" I said, "Well, you won't have a job if you don't give it to me." He said, "I don't bust a case." He laid a 20-pound case up on the table. He said, "You'll have to take the case." Well, I didn't know. I'd follow an order. I said, "Give me the primer cap to go with that thing. You have to shove that down and ignite it." Well, I got up there. Colonel Smith said, "Joe, did you get that TNT?" I said, "Yes, I got plenty." "Well, that's good. Did you get the primer?" I said, "Yeah, I got the primer to do with it." We got up to Dachau. This was so terrible. This is the terriblest thing you've ever seen. Can you imagine a 16-year-old boy seeing that such a mess with all them people dead there? I passed by that little.
Get back on it.
I passed by that little one rail car, and this little girl, she was about 12 years old, had blue eyes and blonde hair. The prettiest thing you ever seen. She looked me straight in the eye, but she was dead. I can see her little face today as good as I can here. Ain't that something? You don't ever forget something like that. No, you don't forget nothing like that. No, we got up there. So we got up to Dachau. So he said, "Joe, you got what I need?" I said, "Yes." He said, "There's an incinerator over there where they casting those people. They casting 1,000 of them a day. Go over there and put that TNT." He said, "You take the little shovel off your back and dig down about 3 or 4 inches and put 2 pounds in there." Well, he didn't know I had 20 pounds. I should never tell this, but I did. Anyway, I went down and I dug down and dug down and dug down. I finally got it down about that deep. I put that TNT in there and covered that dirt over. And the boy was with me. His name was Mark. I said, "Mark, don't you hook them wires together till I get down there. Them TNT's going to blow the world apart. Don't you get down there." So he said, I'm not going to hook it up." So I got down there. I said, "You can hook it up now." I said, "Fire in the hole." He mashed that thing. Sir, look again. That incinerator's still going to the moon as far as I'm concerned. It hasn't failed yet as far as I know. We never did see it. And I knocked down 3 buildings with a concussion out there. Colonel Smith come down there and said, "Joe, what did you do?" I said, well, you want it done, I done it what I was supposed to, it's right. They won't gas another one. He said, yeah, but you knocked all them buildings down. I said, they used them to dress people to put in the gas chamber. They don't need them buildings.
Mm.
Good
About
story.
time. Should we stop?
Brother, you look at a lot of history. I'm gonna tell you something right now. You look at a lot of
Yeah, I
history.
know your time.
Joe, I went to Dachau.
We
They
went to
tell that
Dachau,
story.
yeah,
They tell that story.
they tell
about
that
you.
story, yeah.
They
Really?
didn't mention your name, but
No,
they tell that story.
they talked about that American trooper, the soldier.
I wish they knew who it
I
was.
can't, you'll have to talk a little loud, I can't hear you.
They said they went to Dachau on their trip over this year, and they talk about the soldier that blew that incinerator up, and it was you.
Yeah, let me tell you what happened at Dachau. This was so terrible. After I blew it up, Sergeant Waters, our platoon sergeant, said, y'all can go down through there where those people are. And you know, Hitler had barracks, and like government barracks, and those people was in there. And I went there the first time when I got through the wall, I was going out the back. I got through the wall, and the first fellow I seen was a Jewish man, and he didn't have no skin, he didn't have no flesh on his face. He just had skin and bones. He didn't have no flesh nowhere on him. That's the pitiful sight I ever seen. And I walked over to him and I shook him. I said, Americana. He said, God said, Americana is going to come and release us. I said, you're free. He said, thank you, Americans, thank you. Now, I went on down a little piece further. Now, this don't sound too good for the girl, but it happened. So it's true. You got to listen. You got to record it. I went on down there, and this little girl was squatted down there. She was crying her eyes out. She was dressed to go to the gas chamber. She had 2 little girls and 1 little boy. The little girls, they call them Fräulein in Germany. You know, in Germany, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got down there, and she just looking up in the stars, just bawling her little eyes out. And I done everything. I spoke a little German, a little French, a little Russian, whatever I knew. I couldn't get to her. But in Germany, everybody in Germany knows what kaput is. Kaput, you're dead. Kaput, you just dead. So I said, you nix kaput. She said, huh? I said, I nix kaput? I said, no, you nix kaput. She said, Fräulein? I said, no. She asked the little boy, I said, no, you nix kaput, you're free. Sir, this don't sound too good, but she got up, grabbed me, and peeked all over me, right down that way. Right in my chest, right down that way. And when I come out there at the end of the barracks, Sergeant Waters said, Johnson, you peed in your breeches. I said, Sarge, that's the warmest pee I ever had. That's the warmest pee I ever had. Sarge, you need to tell it like it is. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
That's some war story. That's true. You know what? I've got a book I'm gonna give you. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Yeah. I want to sign it for you now before you leave.
Thank you. Yeah. Please do. Do you want a picture of
Yeah, I
Brandon?
want to get a picture.
Because I think he had